Hello. So I wanted to make a video about a question that I've been getting. And the question is, have I always been able to sort of sense spirits and kind of like have this intuition like my whole life? The quick answer is there is no quick answer. It's both yes and no. And that is for a particular reason. Yes, because we kind of all have this ability, and when we're younger we're definitely more in tune with it, more in touch with it. We just don't have the foundation, the logic, the support system to really grow that psychic muscle, right? But sometimes we have experiences that we're like, whoa, what was that? Was that something I should pay attention to? And if you're old enough when it happens, then you will be able to kind of critically think yourself through it. Was I old enough to critically think myself through the situations that happened when I was younger? Yes and no. The reason being is because I had one really big situation that happened in high school, and I had one big situation that happened in college. And both situations, I was part of a church institution, and because of my belief system at the time, I did not have the support from the people around me. Didn't have the knowledge to really support, what are the answers here? Like what direction do I take? What path do I take? Like, how can I explore this? Should I explore it? Most of the time, especially in religious organizations like Christianity, religiosity in that sense, there's not really a lot of answers for that. People don't really explore it. They're scared of it. They think it's witchcraft. They don't see it as a gift. I'll say most people that I was around did not see it as a gift. They saw that and things like Harry Potter as witchcraft, and it's going to send you right to hell, and you need to like stop drifting, and you're getting caught up in things. You got to stay on a straight and narrow path, all of that. And if you know, if you don't, you don't need to know, but that is sort of what I'll say, sort of was my upbringing in a lot of ways. So when those psychic experiences occurred, I did not really have the foundation to grow them. But once I'll tell you, I ended up going to Nepal a couple of years ago. I was a flight attendant, and I went to Nepal they had an earthquake in 2015. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to use my flight benefits. We're going to travel and serve people because it's what I wanted to do. It's what I've always been, sort of pulled towards. And so I started to do that. And I started to go to Nepal quite a few times. And then one particular time, I was able to go for about 5 to 6 months. And during that time, I had really quite profound experiences. I had an opportunity to stay with some monks that I had met the first time I was there, and they were profound. I mean, the whole shebang was just so miraculous and beautiful. And I'm grateful because even though I was very, very Christian, I've always been very, very open-minded, very, very willing to shape and grow my thoughts. So when the opportunity came for these monks to show me something new and teach me something new, I was very much like, absolutely, I want to understand your experiences. And they really broadened my horizons when it came to meditation, really what Jesus really represented from their point of view, and filling in a lot of the gaps for what the Bible doesn't really talk about. Like from 12 to 33, Jesus, there's no story about him, but other religions and other cultures have more to the story. And it's your choice whether you choose to believe it or not. When I heard these things, I was like, you know what, that really resonates in my truth center. There was something that echoed and said, that's correct. As if Jesus told me himself, that's accurate information. You need to follow that same path. And it worked for me. And I think that people need to follow their own journey. But ultimately, that journey to Nepal, learning these different religions, learning about these cultures, they've really allowed me to kind of expand my thought process, which I needed to do first, because I was not an emotional person. I was very hard, very masculine in my energy as a adolescent, as a college student, as a disciple of Jesus. I tried to tone down and learn concepts, how to be meek and graceful and all those different things. But, I was just very much not able to, be that divine feminine that I'm able to understand a lot better now. So during that time, my logic and information is what I chased. So learning from those monks was exactly what I needed in order to kind of get myself down this spiritual path. Anyway, so we're going to fast forward a little bit. I was able to leave Nepal and decide that it was not good for me, for my spiritual walk, for my relationship with God, to be stuck in a room that I do not fit in. And if you're part of a religion and you've walked away from it, I think that you will understand that concept very well. If you're too tall for a room, you have a choice whether you end up, bending over and now your neck has a crook in it and you're just going to stay in that room as long as you can, or you decide to get out of the room and stand up tall and allow yourself to grow as tall as you need to grow. And I decided that I was going to get out of that room and stand up tall and see where that path takes me. And yeah, there are fears, all the things that, you learn when you're in the room. You learn, oh my God, if you leave the room, you might get lost. You're gonna end up in another room. You're gonna end up in a room that has no doors on it, and all the things are gonna happen to you, and you're gonna lose yourself because you have no foundation and no willpower and all the things. And you need this church group. You need to be in this room. All those things came to mind. But I decided to leave anyway. And once I did, that is when my intuition came back online. That is when I started to emotionally connect deeper, much deeper, to all the people around me, the different places I was going, to myself, and something that I had prayed for a lot when I was a Christian, or when I used that label Christian. I always prayed for discernment. I always prayed for to understand people's energy. I always said, I want to know whether I should talk to that person or not talk to that person. I felt like I just didn't know, and I wanted to be guided in a way that I knew. And I prayed that forever. It's always something that I wanted. And I've always prayed for it. So it's almost as if my prayer was answered once I left church, ironically. And so I started to learn, okay, there's a lot that I'm feeling. There's a lot that's going on here. And let me back up for a second. I actually did a lot of shadow work. At one point when I was in Nepal, during that whole process, but before I decided to actually leave church, there was a couple of years that went by during that time. And during that time period, I was really working on myself. I was trying to be a good gift to whoever it is that I end up meeting. I thought my motivation was like a husband. If I ever meet a husband, I want to work on my issues so that I can learn to be a good gift, because I want to give him goodness. I do not want to give him crazy baggage from things I never dealt with. So I was really trying to work on me. And during that process, I did a lot of shadow work. And so when it was time to walk out of that church environment, to walk out of that room, to go to a place with a higher ceiling, the intuition was just, the emotional connection to my intuition just turned on immediately. It was like it was waiting for me to get out of that room. And so from that point on, there was a lot of feeling, there was a lot of things happening, and I really did not know how to manage it. I did not know how to control it. I did not know whether or not it was me I was feeling, if it was people I was feeling, if it was situations I was feeling. And so I really needed guidance. And I asked God, of course, for guidance. I looked for people that I connected to, that connected to my heart, that gave me good vibrations. And I allowed myself to learn from those people, those places. And then when the ceiling got high again, somewhere else, I would step into a new room. And that is how I ended up where I am now. Am I in this place where I see and feel all the things everywhere? No, but I'm a channel for the things and the places that I need to be and the people I need to interact with. I'm a channel for those people and those places and those spirits. And I'll continue to learn and to grow because I'm on my own journey, just like you are. Yeah, so that's a little bit of my story, a little bit of how, I got to this place right now. Hopefully in a week, in 2 weeks, in 3 years, I'll be able to update this story and say, guys, gals, it's a whole new world out there. It's a whole new me. It's a whole new version of me. And I will be able to, because we are manifesting it. It's happening. I can already see it. So this is just the first installment. Yeah. So thank you for letting me share.